Hi there, welcome to today's video where I'm going to be showing you how I made these little guys here. Yep, it's badges again, although they could be made into pendants too, but I just needed something fairly quick to work on today, just some other stuff to do, but hopefully I'll have some other stuff for you on the run up to Halloween, which is, yeah, only next week now, so yeah, I need to get a crack on with that. Anyway, let me go and show you how I made them. So here's the gang so far. We have a witch, a pumpkin, Frankie, a skull and a little bat here. So I'm going to start with the mummy badge, I think. So I'm scouring my spare clay bag here to see if there's any clay that I can use, and yep, I think there is. I'm going to make a nice dark sort of khaki grey colour just to create the base of the face. I just want to make sure that that's of a similar size to Frankie, and it pretty much is, so maybe a little bit bigger. So with the assistance of my medium-sized ball tool here, I need to create just a couple of eye sockets, nice and easy. And I'm popping in some tiny balls of black clay here. Just need to ensure that they're of the same size to ensure that your character's fairly symmetrical, but you know, you might choose to have one eye bigger than the other. It's up to you. And I've noticed I haven't any orange clay in stock, so I need to make my own with some yellow and red clay here. Mainly yellow and a tiny bit of red. And I've created just a couple of smaller size balls here, and I'll pop those in the eye sockets. And pop some pupils on with some teeny tiny black clay. It's looking nice and ominous now, I think. And for the bandages, I've just rolled out some really thin white clay here, and I think I used about the number 5 setting on my Atlas machine. And I need to make some thin strips to make the bandages, so just use my blade cutting tool like so. Keeps it nice and easy. It's much easier than using a scalpel as well. And so I'm just trying to see how the bandages will work on his face, but it's made me realise that I need a mouth cutting into the face. I've decided against the nose because I think it's easier in terms of design. I want it all to be sort of fairly flat really. It helps with it being a badge, I think. It'd be different if it was model making. And some nice grey teeth should set off his mouth pretty well, and they'll contrast with the white of the bandages as well. So I just need to start building the white clay. So it's just a case of adding strips of clay as and where you like them really. Might be a case that you kind of add some and take some off as you go along. It's kind of difficult to be sort of too prescriptive with this one in terms of a tutorial because it's entirely down to you where you place your bandages. As with all of my videos, I need to apologise for any background noise that you hear today. My studio's on quite a busy road, so I invariably pick up bits and bobs of traffic noise, so yeah, apologies for any that you might hear today. So his face is looking a lot more like a mummy now. And I might just add a little wave detail to this bandage piece here, just to create, you know, just a little bit of visual interest so it doesn't look all too similar. And yeah, I think he's pretty much done. So I'll pop him to the side and I'll start on my owl badge. I chose an owl really because I was looking around at some inspiration, and it seems to be that owls are quite popular for Halloween, and I'd never ever realised this, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure where the association comes from, Probably just the owls hooting at night, but yeah, that's quite interesting. But I like an owl, so I thought it'd be quite a nice little piece to make. So I've used my large ball tool here to create some eye sockets. And I rarely use the large ball tool actually. There's not a lot of demand for it. So I'm using a wet wipe just to ensure that the white clay is nice and clean before the pupils are popped on, like so. Looks kind of like a skull at this stage as well. And a little orange beak will make it look a lot more like an owl. And with my tiny ball tool here, I'm making just some indentations to look like a feathery kind of chest. Just a really simple effect really, but it works quite well, I think. And you might find something else to create yours with. It's all about being creative, isn't it? So as it's Halloween, I want my owl to look fairly grumpy, at least, so I'm adding some dark eyebrows here, which adds a bit of character. And with the same dark clay, I'll add just a couple of wings to the side. And to make it look a little more Halloween-y, because I'm quite conscious that it doesn't really evoke Halloween, I'll add just a little witch's hat to the top. Nice and easy. And I'll just add the brim like so. Just needs to curve round slightly. And lastly, I think he needs some feet. So I'm just creating some very basic feet shape with some nice yellow clay here, and that should pop against the khaki green colour. So I think he looks a lot better actually for having his little feet. And I think he's pretty much done. So they're both now ready to be baked. So at this point you'll need to refer to your own brand of polymer clay's baking instructions. So now they're all baked and cooled, they're ready to add some Sculpey glaze to. So it's just a nice little thing to do, just to add a little bit of sheen to your pieces. So I tend to just use a little bit of glaze on some elements of a piece. I don't tend to use it all over. So I'll just pop some on the mummy's eyes here. And probably the same actually for the owl. Just to make the white of the eyes pop, I'll add some glaze there like so. And you could also add some maybe to the hat or the beak if you wanted, but I'll just keep it to the eyes today. And to make them into badges, I need to use some epoxy glue, which is a two-part glue like Araldite if you're in the UK, but I think this is just a cheap version. So you just need a tiny dollop of glue on your badge attachments, and that just pops onto the back like so. And to ensure it dries nice and flat, I'll just pop that on an old wet wipe, and I'll just do the owl in the same way. Just have to be careful to try not get any on your hands really, but it's always helpful to have some wet wipes around. And that just attaches like so. So these now need to be left for around 24 hours for the glue to dry. So here they are, they're all done, and I think they fit in pretty well with the rest of the gang. Hope you have fun making yours. Thanks very much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.